Welcome to Yacht Talk. We are in Barnes in southwest London, close to the Thames, at the headquarters of Winch Design Studio. And we're going to talk about their holy trinity of designing jets, homes and yachts. So I'm here with Jim Dixon and Simon Tomlinson, both managing partners and creative directors of Yachts and Aviation for you, Jim, and of Architecture for you, Simon. Thank you so much for having us here again. In fact, it's been a year, hasn't it? But we caught up with you, Jim, in Monaco. So how have you been and how busy have you been at the studio?
Well, we're doing great, Charlotte. Thank you. And nice to have you back here. We continue to be really busy as a studio with clients coming to us for all manner of projects and different ideas and adventures. So Simon and I are continually trading those clients and projects, and it's a very healthy portfolio of different things that's going on in the studio. It's very exciting.
So some clients may naturally ask you to design their jets or their homes if you've designed their yachts or super yachts. But do you have any clients who choose you because of the very fact that you can cover both, well, all the disciplines, jets, yachts and homes?
Yeah, I think we do. We've had several who have enjoyed doing all of those different types of projects with us, not all of the same time. And they never want the same. They never want to repeat in those different assets the same style of design. Some are actually very different, opposite ends of the stylistic spectrum. But I think we employ the same principles in each of them, that rigor that we've all learnt in the yachting industry to interrogate the GA, understand the routing, the division between staff, crew and guests, and how everybody is enjoying the space but playing a role in the function of the planning. That has transferred into everything that Simon does in a land-based world. Everything that we do in the sky on an aviation project starts from that understanding of how the spaces are going to be used and the lifestyle.
So Simon, how can the architectural practice or business side of the company here at Winch benefit from the experience and the skills developed in jets and yachts?
It's a really good question, Charlotte. We're the youngest studio in the business, but I think everything that we do is heavily influenced by the pedigree that's being developed over time in our marine projects and our aviation projects. And I think one thing that clients who are yacht owners really understand is that need to maximize every square inch of a space. What we have on the architecture projects is we have the largesse of space, we have volume, we have a lot of things that you don't typically get on a yacht project, or even more so in an aircraft. But that attention to detail, that attention to making a space work at a planning level, but equally at a closer philosophical level, at an experiential level, is something that we really try and bring across. And there is a cross-pollination that does happen between our studios. And I think it's one of our key differentiators is a designer in the architecture studio could end up working in the yachts studio or the aviation studio. And whereas we see the business as one studio, you do have distinct differences that you need to focus on if you're working on any of those three projects.
Jim, I'm going to ask you for some stories now, okay? Tell us about some of the crazy requests you've had for jet interiors.
Well, we have had some crazy requests, but actually some of those questions are pretty short-lived, like, can I put a bathtub in my bathroom, is one we get several times over. Actually, those conversations close down pretty quickly because there are some things which we simply can't do. The rule book doesn't allow us to. So we put an end to those kind of conversations very quickly. You know, the one thing, it's not particularly exciting maybe, but the industry has changed somewhat over the years. We find that clients like their spaces to be more of a replica of the space that they have on the ground. So effectively we're creating that apartment in the sky, the living room in the sky. But to do that, to create furniture which looks like any other piece of furniture in your living room, and put it at 40,000 feet in an aircraft cabin and certify it is actually a really very, very difficult thing to do. It might not seem that way to our clients, but it is actually fraught with technical difficulty and certification difficulty. So getting that same spirit, that same atmosphere that we do on the ground here is all the more challenging.
And you have been challenged at times. You did have a client in the past who asked for an interior with, I think, 6 materials, but none of those materials had ever been used before. So it did send us on a gigantic research and development exercise. And what you came up with was not only unique, but pretty cutting edge.
But I guess it forces you to be very creative and to always try to come up with new solutions to problems or requests.
It underpins the studio. That statement you just made, it is the ethos that generates most of what we do. It's that continual desire to learn and be exposed to new opportunities, new ways of thinking. It's what makes this an exciting studio to come to every day.
So talking of crazy or maybe more spectacular requests, tell us about this new and very exciting OO project. You've designed a penthouse on top of the building. What was the brief?
Wow, it's been such a tremendous ride for us, and we're immensely grateful to a brilliant client who's backed us. The old War Office in Whitehall is a building laced in history, and it's been really an incredible ride. The penthouse itself is actually a new addition on top of the existing building, and it's in quite a unique mansard roof space. So spatially, there's quite a lot of variety to play with. It's a very long plan, and it's been a real chance for us to bring our very tailored approach into a once-in-a-lifetime development in London. Not only interior-wise, but equally on the exterior terrace areas, which have some really scintillating views of some of the most iconic landmarks in London.
How do you accommodate the story and the history of a place like the OO?
Well, we're quite fortunate in that there is a starting point. However, the client was adamant that they wanted a different product. They wanted a penthouse that could stand alone and that could almost offer up a different vision, a more contemporary version of London. And that inspired us. We had the job of unlocking the plan, making the layout work. But when it came to the actual interior styling, the incredibly talented team that I work with were testing different ideas, and really what we kept coming back to was this idea of what does modern Britain represent, this idea of British craftsmanship. The country is full of incredible artisans and craftspeople. How can we bring that into this penthouse? And then how can we also bring in other references, more London specific? And we were fascinated by the ideas of sartorial influence from other parts of London, artistic influence. And you can really see that depending on the spaces you're in. You get these little reflections, these little tastes of what it is that makes London such an interesting cosmopolitan city.
Jim, talking of spectacular projects, you have worked with Heesen on several great full custom projects, and recently you launched Project Sparta. So tell us about the project and what can we expect? Because we've got a few samples here.
What can we expect? Well, I was at the yard only yesterday looking at the progress. We've got some of the pictures here behind us and the samples on the board. She is an incredibly dynamic, athletic looking yacht. I can't wait to pull her out of the shed because when we stand back from her, you'll see the poise on the water and how taut she is in her lines and form. Very different from projects that we've done before actually, but certainly it will be striking for the market in the way that she's planned and the lifestyle that we were hoping to capture. Extremely modern in a sense. Aft beach, which is very low to the waterline, access to the water for everybody, for the family and for the owner, and they will spend a lot of time there. This is becoming the running theme of most of the lifestyle briefs that we're trying to approach now in yachting. Be close to the water, enjoy the fun, have that connection with the interior spaces as and when you need it. But it's really all about the deck life around the pool and around the ocean. Inside, she is just a beautiful flow and blend of very gentle materials, and we've got some of them here. Gentle colours in soft pastels of greens and blues and pinks. A wonderful spa on the lower deck where you can look through right from port to starboard, so you really get the emphasis of the full beam nature of the space. We have 2 owners' suites fore and aft on the owners' decks, and then a wonderful sun deck which opens up to the sky above. And I was up there yesterday just sitting and enjoying the atmosphere of that space. Is just very different from from other vessels and other projects that we've done. So Sparta is exciting. She will be out to the public very, very soon, and in the next few weeks she'll be completed and delivered to her owners. Very exciting.
And last question maybe, what would be the dream project?
I think we've done a few of them already, many of which we're not allowed to say anything about. But no, I think we've both had a few dream projects. I think what continually catches me out is when you're in that moment of living that dream project, and we've certainly had a few, you have to take stock and reflect. It's not almost until you've finished the project and realized it was a dream project and wondered whether it's ever going to happen again, then guess what? Another one comes along and you have another dream project. So for me, in the architecture and interior studio, the OWO has been a dream project. To do something so signature orientated in our hometown has been great.
And I think we've all seen over the last 2 or 3 years how rapidly the whole world is moving. Look at different types of conversation and focus that we're all having globally is changing. It's completely different even to what it was 5 years ago. We're addressing briefs that, I mean, simply those opportunities didn't come about 10 years ago, 20 years ago. With, faced with a completely different type of project.
And I'd look at it another way. I'd almost say the dream projects now are those where, with the great chemistry of a supportive client, one is afforded the time to truly uncover a design solution that is innovative and entirely unique. To have that realm, to think to that degree in today's world, I think that for me is the dream project. Yeah.
Well, wonderful to hear. Simon, Jim, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Another great visit here at the Winch Design studio. Stay tuned, we've got more episodes of Yacht Talk coming your way. And remember, keep yachting.